Hello friends, today is a very, very auspicious day. It's RAKSHABANDHAN Day, and there are a lot of stories about RAKSHABANDHAN which probably very few people know about. So I take this opportunity to tell you all the stories, very interesting stories and very unheard of stories. But before I do that, let me introduce myself. I'm Mina Tilakraj, your storyteller guide of India and travelism expert. And I also am a storyteller in my own rights. So here we go, Raksha Bandhan. Very, very auspicious, and it's a very interesting festival because there are so many myths attached to it. The stories, I can give you 5 to 6 different stories about how different people tied Rakhis to different people. And how the myth is that it's only a brother-sister festival, which it is not. Definitely not. So anyway, let's start first with the brother-sister story only, but we will go on to the other stories by and by. The first Rakhi, of course, it is said that it was tied by a sister to a brother. But that also Mu Boli Behen. She was a sister whom, she was an adopted sister. Krishna's adopted sister. Now, Krishna had an altercation with one of his cousins. Okay? And they eventually ended up warring with each other. Of course, as you all will know, that finally Krishna wins. He has to win, isn't it? His cousin was Shishupal. So they never got along, and when they grew up, they almost had war. And of course, Krishna won. But then Krishna was injured and he hurt his finger. And Draupadi, who came to know of it, she came running to him and she just tore a strand from her own, you could say, sari, and she tied it around him. And that became the first Rakshabandhan, or the first Rakhi. Okay, that she tied caring for her brother. Okay, so that is one story. Another story says that actually the first Rakhi was tied by a wife to a husband. Who tied it? Vishnu's Vishnu. Let us see how. Let me get that story here. Now, King Bali was the king of demons, and he, it's a long, long story before that, so I'm not going to get into that because we have very limited time for this session. So somehow or the other, he had taken Vishnu as his prisoner. Now, his wife Lakshmi was upset. And what did she do? King Bali took Vishnu. Okay, he was the king of the underworld. And he took Vishnu in the underworld and he made him his guard. Okay. Now, Lakshmi was upset, of course. So she disguised herself as a poor Brahmin woman and she went down. She went down to the underworld and she went begging and she said, can I please, I need a job. Please, can you give me a job? And he kept her. And later on the full moon day of Shravan Mass of the month of August, Shravan is generally, it is August, July, August. Okay, so full moon day of August, she said, I have noticed that my husband is prisoner here with you. Will you please release him? She actually, she was so good in her work and so well behaved, and she did a lot of good work for the King Bali, for his household. And Bali was very, kind of very impressed. And he was basically a very pious king. So he said, what is the boon that you want to ask? Okay. So she said that I want my husband. I just noticed that my husband is your guard. Can you please release him? And when he was released, they both took their real forms, Vishnu and Lakshmi. And that is when Bali realized his folly and he begged for pardon. But that was Lakshmi tying the Rakhi to, sorry, Lakshmi, no, this is not the wife. That's another story. I'm so sorry. Lakshmi tied Rakhi in Bali, and she said, I take you as my brother. And then he asked, what is the boon you want as a sister, since you've tied Rakhi to me? So she said, please release my husband. The husband-wife Rakhi that I was talking about, I made a mistake. Please forgive me for that. That was actually by Indrani. Now, Indra was the king of all the gods, and he was in war with all the demons, and he was at a loss. He was scared also. His wife was scared that he would lose the war. So Narad came out. Vishnu sent Narad to him, and he said, go and advise them what to do. And as you know, Vishnu is the postman everywhere. He's the catalyst everywhere. So he came and he told Indrani, he told Indra also, that before going for war, you better get a protection band tied by your wife. That will protect you. So Indrani tied the band to Indra. That was the wife tying the Rakhi to the husband. Okay, please excuse me for the previous mistake. Now, there's another story also. The other story is about Yama and Yamuna, the river Yamuna and Yama. They were both brought up by their stepmother, but they didn't know. And she used to ill-treat them. She was very rude, very mean. And after Yamuna was married, she did not allow Yama to go and meet Yamuna. Okay? But it was only later on when he came to know that she was his stepmother, and this is how she was ill-treating. So he just, disobeyed her in a way. And in fact, Ganga, their friend, who was also a cousin of Yamuna, she came and told Yama that, she is your stepmother and this is what she's doing to you. Don't bother, go and meet your sister. She's been waiting for you for years. For 12 years, he had not gone to her. So he went to meet his sister. His sister was so overjoyed that she prepared his favorite foods and sweets, because Yama was very fond of sweets. So she prepared his favorite sweets and she gave him. And also, Yama was suffering from a curse that he will be cursed to be, for his body to disintegrate. So that is when Ganga came to know about the curse, and that is why she told Yama to go to his sister. And when he came, his sister quickly tied the band of protection to Yama. Yamuna tied the band of protection to Yama. So that is how he got protected. Okay, so that was the sister, and that is one of the reasons why sweets are prepared for the brother. Okay, interesting, isn't it? How little things come up. And these are, of course, mythological stories, but we do have historical stories also. Like, for example, Rani Karnamavati, who was the queen of Chittor. She was the widowed queen, and after her husband, she took over the reins, and she was the queen of Chittor. And Chittor was constantly invaded by the Mughals, as we all know that part of history. And there came a time when Rani Karnavati felt that she will not be able to withhold. So what to do, what to do, what to do? She knew that King Humayun was a very nice soul. He was a very good-hearted person. So she quickly sent a Rakhi to Humayun, seeking his protection. And on the other hand, now look at the beauty of this. On the other hand, even Humayun understood, though he was a Muslim king, he was a Mughal king, but he understood the importance of Rakhi, okay, and the importance of this festival. So he was going to war for on some other front, but he quickly turned his entire, his route, and he came to save Rani Karnavati. But unfortunately, he was a bit too late, and Rani Karnavati had already committed, as they say, Johar, committed suicide. So that is history for you. Then we have Rabindranath Tagore. We also have the story of King Alexander and Porus. King Alexander's wife she respected Porus very much. She was in awe of Porus, and she knew that Porus was a very strong man, and he would defeat Alexander. So what did she do? She also sent a Rakhi to Porus. And Porus, understanding the importance of Rakhi, he spared, though he won the war, but he spared Alexander's life. And thereby grew a lot of respect between the two kings. Alexander started respecting Porus a hell of a lot. So that is another story about history, how Rakhi has been actually used also as a festival between as part of a strategy between kings. And then we have another very cute mythological story, and that is about Ganesha. Do you all know about Santoshi Ma? Do you know who she is? She is the daughter of Ganesha. Now, Ganesha had only two sons first, Shubha and Love. And every time there was a festival of Ganesha, of Rakhi, these two boys used to be very upset. We don't have a sister. We don't have a sister. So then Ganesha decided to have a sister, have a daughter. And through their energies, combined energies of Ganesha and his wife, a daughter was born. A daughter was born, and her name was Santoshi Mata, the goddess of satisfaction. And the boys were very happy. Now, over here, I would like to add something, that in the Hindu mythology, you will notice that every now and then, every, say, 40, 50 years or something, a new goddess is born. Okay? A new goddess emerges, or a new God emerges. It is about the times, the need of the times. I still remember I was a very young girl. I must have been about 12 or 13 years, and that was the time when even I was doing the fasts for Chaumasa, that is the monsoon months. Okay? And they said that if you fast every Monday or during this time, you get a very good husband or whatever. But I used to do it because I enjoyed the whole process, you know. It was like it was good food made for you, and you would go to the temple, and I was very fond of going to the temple. And there were special pujas which were done and all that. So I used to go, and during that time, they started talking about a new goddess, which was Santoshi Mata. And also at that time, that movie also came up, Jai Santoshi Mata. Okay, because those were the times. They were times soon after partition of India. Okay, we had partition of India in 47. I was born in 51, and you can imagine I was about 12, 13 years old. So that means it was about 1963, 64. That is when Santoshi Mata had emerged, you know. So uh, after the war, people were very kind of, because they were stripped of all their belongings. They had lost everything. So uh, peace and satisfaction was required. People were very upset. They had lost everything. So Santoshi Mata came. Okay, the goddess of peace and satisfaction. And then recently, I know that Vaibhav Lakshmi has come in. Okay, Vaibhav Lakshmi, because now people have worked and they have done businesses and they have amassed some wealth also, but they want more. You know, that greed is there. So the goddess of wealth is there. So we have got Vaibhav Lakshmi. So every now and then, as per society's needs, there is a new God figure which emerges. It could be a goddess, it could be a god. Okay, this is what happens in society. It's the Hindu system is a very evolving system. That is how it's very different from all the other religions, that we have new gods coming up. Of course, I would say there's a parallel of this in other religions, that they have saints coming up. You know, saint so and so, saint so and so. So we have gods and goddesses coming up. Okay, so now I've told you this. The other story that I'm going to tell you, not other story, it's a historical fact about Rabindranath Tagore. Okay, Rabindranath Tagore had used this festival to make it into a kind of, uh, as they say, sarvajanik, to make it a public festival, so that, because he wanted to unite the Hindus and the Muslims. So he made a public festival out of it. Just like, who made, who was that, who made Ganesh Utsav? That is, Ganesh Utsav was made into a public festival by one of our politicians. Who was that? No, not Vallabhbhai Patel. It was a Maharashtrian leader. I forget his name, but that was made into a public festival. And Rabindranath Tagore made Rakhi a public festival. Can somebody give me the name of the person who made Ganesh Utsav as a public festival? Can somebody please share the name? Okay. Who's here? Rajiv ji, can you share the name? Otherwise, probably I'll have to look into my phone. But anyway, Rabindranath made this festival soon after the Bengal partition, and to bring the Muslims and the Hindus together. And though, of course, Bengal stands divided, but even then, the tradition continues even then, even now, where in Bengal, that people tie Rakhis to neighbors also, whoever their neighbor is, you know. And to tell you a little more about it, we have Rakhi being tied by the Panditji. to his clients also. They also tie. And friends tie Rakhi to one another also. Yes. So these are the various things which tell us that Rakhi is not necessarily tied only by brothers and sisters. Oh, the daughter ties Rakhi to her father also. Yes. And because what is Rakhi? It's called RAKSHABANDHAN. Raksha means protection, right? And blessings. So blessings and protection can be given from anybody to anybody. Two female friends also can tie Rakhi to one another. Okay, I know of certain communities among Bengalis, among Marwadis, where the Nanan ties a kind of a Rakhi. It's called a Lumba. She ties a Lumba to her sister-in-law, Bhabi. Okay, so that is also a festival. Okay, that is also done. So just like now there are friendship bands, the whole world celebrates friendship bands. We have all these festivals. This can be a friendship band also, it can be a protection band also, it can be an affection band also, it can be anything. Anybody can tie a Rakhi to anybody. A mother can tie a Rakhi to her son. What if the son does not have sisters? What if the son doesn't have sisters? So the mother ties the Rakhi to the son. I know I have only one son and I used to tie Rakhi to him. Okay. So these are different festivals. These are different stories of the festival and how different people, not only brother and sister, but different people have tied Rakhis to different people. I hope you all enjoyed the stories. Did you? Please let me know about them. Do give your feedback. Join us on Zana Aspire to Inspire, and you will find this.
I think Priyanka has fortunately joined us. She can come and she can just give her comments.
Yeah. I was looking for the name of the person who made Ganesh Utsav
I will try to search.
As a Ganesh Utsav was made into a social festival.
By the time Priyanka responds, you can Google and find out. Priyanka, please, if you have anything to comment about, please go ahead.
So there is network issue here and I'm in the office right now. So
नहीं तुम ऐसा कर सकती हो, वो तुम या तो वीडियो ऑफ कर लो और तब ऑडियो क्लियर आएगा.
मैं एक्चुअली प्रॉब्लम क्या है कि जो मेरा एरिया है ना ऑफिस वर्क का, देयर इज नेटवर्क प्रॉब्लम, so it goes off.
I should never forget
I know.
I'm sorry.
Despite
I should never
having
forget this name because I'm Mina Tilakraj and it was Bal Gangadhar Tilak who made the festival into a public festival. And that was to bring people together. And that was during the British rule when he wanted to bring people together and make certain announcements. So he disguised it as the Ganesh festival. So friends, I hope all of you enjoyed this. Do give us your feedback. We'd love that. And I hope those who are present here have enjoyed the stories. Hello?
Yeah, only Priyanka can make a comment.
Can we now stop the recording?
1 second. Just give me 1 minute. I am on my mobile. I have to go to my laptop.
Yeah. But you'll have to, sort of trim it much before because I finished the story.
Yeah. Just once. Give me just 1 second. And then we can talk.